All right. This is from Celia. I see the pandemic as a way to quickly get the entire world, onto a more evolutionary and kinder track than it was on. We like that, Celia. We agree with you. I heard the virus mutations were actually milder than the original version in China. Will GMOs and CFAOs be outlawed? Will sustainable energy and farming quickly rise? I personally don't know what a CAFO is, but here's what I'll say rather than dealing with those specifics. So let me go back to them. We agree with you. This is very much an evolution, and there are those who will come kicking. Okay, they will eventually be brought along. We feel their pain because it scares them. It scares them to think a lot of things, but it's very scary for the people who are carrying weapons and believing that things are, a conspiracy, that this is a conspiracy, that they have been led by these stories. And so it's hard. It's hard for us. And of course, again, we always come back to this is their pathway currently. Over time, of course, there is evolution for all, and we are coming upon a new awakening. Will it bring everybody along? No, and it never does. And that's okay. This is what challenges us, or you as a species, to rise to a higher level. And we absolutely encourage you to keep doing that. As for mutations, we want to say a little bit about the pandemic itself and the virus itself. This is a particularly virulent string or strain. That is not a word I ever use personally, so pardon my attempt to get it out of my mouth. Like many viruses that come and go, it will eventually go or be managed. That is not soon. It will come and go in its strength. It will come and go in its visitation of us. So Julie, they'll refer to me. So I personally had a metaphor of this as it's almost like cancer. It comes, it invades, we treat it when we can, or the physicians, the medical community treats it, and we hope that it goes into remission. This will do that. It will come back. It will come back. And it may come back more than just a wave in the next few months or in the fall. We actually see what has happened thus far, and it pains us to say this, as a dress rehearsal, because nobody should die from a dress rehearsal as we see it as human beings, right? We want to see this in a different way. It is what we would call, or what you would call, a dress rehearsal. And sadly, it is not a very good one, right? This will come back. It may come back stronger in the fall, and then again next year. There will be treatments that come along that will help we don't we don't see a vaccine. We do not call it a cure. We do not see this as something necessarily at this time having a cure. But we don't see treatments for this happening, or a vaccine happening that we think might be the start of something viable until really next year. Despite what you may hear, despite it happening in a lot of places around the globe, and we like that. We like that that's happening. Humans are industrious. Thankfully, they're moved to do this. We just don't see that happening just yet. So, of course, until then, you know that you need to take preventative measures and be cautious. This may sound callous, and this is unusual, we think, coming from us, but people will need to do what they need to do, and those who are exiting from this pandemic, it is their path to do so. You may realize that there is no rhyme or reason right now as to why some people live and some people die. And what we can say is that the reason that happens is because this was their time, right? Okay, I think there's all on that. Just know that I'm not unmuting you now because there's a lot of questions, and so we may circle around for a second round if we have time, okay? And if you don't specifically get the answer that you want at this moment, it may show up later. All right, Catherine asks, oh, wait, I want to go back to something because Celia asked, will sustainable energy and farming quickly rise? We love this question because there are going to be so many changes ahead, so many innovations. I'm not sure I can specifically give them labels. However, if you think it, do it. If there are so many innovations to come, and this is such a great opportunity for that in a variety of different areas, not just agriculture and farming, and in all areas, in business, believe it or not, they're telling me in banking. I don't know why, and I don't know what that means. So it just, maybe that's for you, Anita, I don't know. That in a whole variety of ways. If you think back to the pandemic or the Spanish flu of 1918, 1919, this brought about many new innovations, as did the cholera pandemic, as did previous pandemics. So we will say this again, this will be a great type of and this will be a great time for innovations. And so let your imagination run wild. If you dream it, you can do it. I'm not owning that. I know somebody else said it, and do it, dream it for sure. There are many innovations to come. And so, so I hope that helps with that question a little bit. All right.